So Unreal Engine 5.6 just dropped and we have got a lot of updates in this Unreal Engine update. And a lot of people are talking about the fact that this update is very huge, but is it really that big? And is it really that good to actually shift to Unreal Engine 5.6? Well, I'm here to clarify that for you. So this update does bring some really good enhancements. One of the biggest advantages of this update, and I've pointed this out before, is that Unreal Engine with every update always brings performance enhancements. And so that is really great because this Unreal Engine version is actually even more faster than the Unreal Engine 5.5, which was already very fast and optimized. Now you can render out even higher quality worlds and environments and even do them much faster without actually experiencing a lot of lag or stutter even within the viewport. And so that is incredible. Just to give you a perspective, from Unreal Engine 5.1 to this current version of Unreal Engine 5.6, now the speed within the viewport is almost 3 times faster. And I'm saying that because of my own personal experience. I have actually exported the same project on both the Unreal Engines, and I have noticed that there is definitely a significant difference in terms of speed. So yeah, speed is definitely one of the biggest advantages. But is that really enough for us to switch to this new version? Well, I don't think so. With Unreal Engine 5.6, the biggest update that has been very much talked about is the fact that now you have integrated Metahuman editor and creator. Within the Unreal Engine 5.6, you are now also getting Metahuman creator. So now it's significantly easier because you don't have to go back to the site every time you have to tweak. Plus you have a lot more customization options. But there are still slight issues. The biggest one being that while they have given us a lot of flexibility in terms of base Metahuman customization, the overall customization, if you have to, let's say, make dramatic changes to your character, you will still have to do them outside of Unreal Engine. And so what I think is that while this Metahuman integration is pretty useful, I don't think it's as useful as they are advertising it to be. Yes, it's definitely more accurate. The animator might be a little more accurate and a little more polished, but at the same time, I don't think that this is enough to warrant a complete shift of the version. The other big issue with Unreal Engine 5.6 is that in the Unreal Engine 5.5, and I pointed this out in one of my older videos, is that if you are, let's say, working with a project where you have to make custom metahumans, I was suggesting that you should not use Unreal Engine 5.5. And the reason for that was simple. Unreal Engine 5.5 had some massive issues with exporting morph targets into other engines and then bringing them back within Unreal Engine. And that was a huge issue because if, let's say, you wanted to customize your metahuman, you had to bring it to Blender or Maya with the morph targets and then use those morph targets to customize your character further. But in case of Unreal Engine 5.5, due to some bugs and issues, you would lose those morph targets. And I tried the same thing in Unreal Engine 5.6. And the issue still persists. I don't know why this happens, but if somebody knows how to export these morph targets properly in Unreal Engine 5.5 and 5.6, do leave a comment down below and help others as well. I will definitely pin your comment down. I will have to say that I have tried everything, with also ticking box the export morph targets and then converting the FBX using the Autodesk FBX converter, and none of them work. Whereas when you use the version Unreal Engine 5.1 or even 5.2, this whole customization process of metahumans is significantly more smooth. So maybe if you can customize your metahuman in older versions and then export that to newer version, maybe it would work that way. But I would not suggest you to just yet move to Unreal Engine 5.6 because there are certain bugs like these which still persist. Another issue that I noticed with Unreal Engine 5.6 was that there was some constant crashing. And one of the ways I actually fixed the crashing of the Unreal Engine is just to go into the options and turn off iOS and Android. If you have those two settings turned on, in Unreal Engine 5.5 and in 5.6, both the engines keep on crashing in certain projects. This will not happen for all the projects, but this is still a problem because I tested these and it still persisted. In one of my projects that I'm making for a streamer, a animation, in that particular animation, if I turn on Android and iOS, for some reason, the engine immediately crashes. And that is still an issue in Unreal Engine 5.6. Another issue with Unreal Engine 5.6 is that, and this is kind of not a problem with the 5.6 inherently, is that most add-ons and most assets are not currently updated for Unreal Engine 5.6. And this is a huge issue because right now you can't really use your old add-ons and assets in Unreal Engine 5.6. And so let's say you are planning on moving your big project into Unreal Engine 5.6. I would say don't do it just yet. Wait for maybe 5.7 and then do it. Maybe by that time you will get enough updates for your plugins and your add-ons to be compatible with Unreal Engine 5.6. And this is pretty much it. I do think that Unreal Engine 5.6 is better, and it's definitely a big leap being able to customize metahumans a lot better in this version, while also maintaining the quality of the metahuman character. Because when you customize metahumans outside the engine, you might lose some quality. But overall, this update is really great. I just don't think that this update is as big to warrant a complete shift of version. Especially if you are working on a big project, I don't think you should completely shift your project. I think you should just complete your project on the older version. I mean, let's be honest here. Even though Unreal Engine 5.5 was already out, the secret level Unreal Tournament animators still used Unreal Engine 5.1 to make their episodes. So while the newer version of Unreal Engines are obviously capable, you don't necessarily have to be on the latest version to get the most out of the engine. You can still get lot of good results from the older versions. If you are someone who is planning on using metahumans and customizing them and then bringing them back into Unreal Engine and then designing an environment and making a project of, let's say, a short film, I would still suggest you use Unreal Engine 5.1 or 5.2. The thing is, Unreal Engine 5.6 is definitely better, but it's not as good, especially if you are already an artist who knows how to use the older versions of Unreal Engine. I don't think you have to necessarily move to this newer version. With that said, there are some improvement in terms of actual quality of lighting as well. So if you do want like a little bit of better visual quality, then maybe Unreal Engine 5.6 is good. But I'm not just sure if it's enough to warrant a complete shift in Unreal Engine's versions. With that said, I would like to conclude my video. I do think this update is great, but I still think that there are some problems that persist, which are some major problems, especially the fact that you can't really export all the metahumans properly. At least this problem is something that existed for me for a very long time and I have not been able to fix it till now. So as I said, if anybody knows how to fix these issues, please comment them down below. I will pin your comment and I am open to any discussions about this engine. And I hope you have a good one.